Well, hello guys, welcome to my Arknights guide video for the contingency contract. I apologize for my bad accent. I'm not a native English speaker and also my audio quality isn't the best. Well, first off, we'll be talking about the risks for the permanent map. First off, you have these risks. There's basically a really easy risk because we're using the ground setup, which we are banning the medics and the casters. So this basically means you have a HP reduction, which is just pretty easy because there's so many waves. Even if one enemy slips by, that normally means that all of them do. The only main advantage of this would be if you don't take it. That's the last two Avengers, because you can let those pass, which might make it a little bit easy and you wouldn't need a feeder anymore. But we are using it. Then we also have the range expansion. That's basically a free risk for us because the casters don't reach us anyways. Well, they do, but they won't do any damage to any of our weaker units. We basically have neural tanking all the hits until the caster reaches Lapland and Lapland finish them off. And then we use the movement risk. It doesn't really matter for us. Also, the defense risk doesn't matter for us because we're using a lot of arch damage. So that means that we won't be needing any defense. Then we will use the DP risk, but because of this, it's basically two extra risks, but it requires us to take 10 operators. Then we will use, and this is also free, then we use this, we're using the push strat with feeder. I prefer taking the HP 1 to 1, but you can also do it like this. This is just because we can tank the damage, especially with moves, and killing them often means taking less damage. So for setup we are using different units than here. Okay, so we are using Zarya, skill 1. I have her at mastery 1, but you don't need to have her there. And then we have Angelina at skill 1. She's just here to slow. That will help feeder use a push. Since feeder needs to be mastery 3, because here you can see she pushes the enemies significantly. So that's really important, otherwise you won't be pushing the Avengers enough, and that means your feeder will die. And well, I mean, you could do it, but then you need like godly RNG because your feeder has a dodge ability, and even in this run your feeder will get hit sometimes and she needs to dodge the attacks. Now we use Lapland skill 2. She's mastery 3 because otherwise she won't have very consistent damage. We're using her here to mainly do arch damage. She also has very high resistance. This means she can deal very well with the casters. Then we're using Myrtle. Myrtle skill 1. I have her at M3. It definitely makes it a lot easier. I'm also using Siege, and Siege is actually not necessary. You can also use Texas, but she's even better because she can use the stun. And while stunning enemies, you can basically avoid damage because when you stun the enemy, their attack animation resets, so they don't attack at all. And well, you could use her, but yeah, mine is Elite 1 level 10, so she's not a very good option for me. Then I'll be using Null. She's just here to heal my units some extra, otherwise I won't make it. And then we are using Manticore. Actually, she isn't necessary at all, and I actually recommend you bring Project Red here, because if your Lapland isn't dealing with the caster, she does a lot more damage to the mid area. But I'm using Manticore because I did a risk 21 clear, and I really needed this stun, and it really helps, especially if you're taking the higher damage risks. Then of course you use Moose, and she just is mostly used for the arch damage and the attack down debuff. It's actually a very good unit. I think a lot of people don't realize that. Then we'll be using a Silver Ash support unit because I'm too poor to have one. Okay, so this one is actually really good. That's 19 deployment points, so that's a lot of potential. It also needs to be M3. Otherwise, you can see here it starts with a lot of SP points to start. That just means it needs to recharge a little bit before it hits 90, and you can use this skill right away. You will basically be heli dropping it. And now we'll do the run, and I'll show you how I try and clear it. I also made another video on my channel. It's basically the same run, but this time around we're using better units, I'd say, and maybe better commentary. Okay, so we can just speed it up. You want to pop middle skill right away. You can see here it hits 22. Then you can click skill. Then we'll click here, so time stops a little bit. And we can deploy siege. You're facing her down, so if she holds down these units, then the Avenger starts moving, and this is when you deploy feeder. You want to make sure you deploy it before the Avenger goes there, otherwise you will do one hit and then push, like this. Okay, so actually we did it a little bit wrong here, but that doesn't matter. So we'll take one hit. Then we will deploy left land. Yeah, you want to make sure that it doesn't die. And if feeder hits once and then pushes, you want to deploy Angelina 1, the Avengers here. Otherwise you want to deploy Angelina right when she's on top. Otherwise the positioning will be wrong and your feeder will get hit a lot of times. So now we pop middle skill again. Okay. Then we deploy Saria here. And for the strat it's actually better to deploy Moose now, and after that deploy Neural. But if you're going for higher risk, and especially if your team is weak, and your Saria is low level, then I recommend deploying Neural first. Okay, now you can pop Myrtle skill again. And you want to be as quickly as possible with Moose here. She will now debuff this guy. So if you're buffing them, you can actually use Moose and make sure the timing is right, so she gives him a debuff. That will help a lot. So next up we can deploy Silver Ash facing left here, because then he will hit the mid area here and will also kill the top Avenger. Oh, and he also helps with the caster, so it's very good positioning. Okay, now we can retreat Myrtle for Manticore here. Okay, now we can pop Silver Ash's skill. Or maybe even a little late on popping Silver Ash's skill, but it doesn't matter that much. As you know, he will die probably. Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter. But you want to pop his skill earlier normally. Okay, so here we have this Avenger. Yeah, I think this run is going well. Especially because Angelina is killing him well. Okay, so normally if you're running Risk 21 with this strategy, I actually recommend sometimes using Myrtle to kill the caster here. Because as you can see, she's almost ready in her skill. And once the caster approaches, she will start hitting him instead. So you can use it like this. And now she won't waste a lot of hits on the placement. So this is actually a weird placement, because normally a lot of people place Silver Ash second time here. But I actually recommend placing it here. But this is just because you can retreat him earlier. And you will deal a little bit more damage to the first Avenger here. As you can see, once the Avenger comes out, it should be soon. Okay, we can use her skill. As you can see here, once he begins his attack animation, she stuns. Then his hit will be reset, his hit animation. And that basically means that he didn't do any hits. Okay, so once that Avenger appears, you want to pop Silver Ash's skill. You wait for this caster, and he will probably die soon. Then the Avenger will start moving, and once this unit is out of range from Silver Ash, you can retreat him. Okay, so now, actually, I have a little tip here, because Manticore can stun this Crusher or Malachi. And if he's stunned here, like to the left of Manticore, that means now you can retreat everyone, by the way. Just mid is all gone. Okay. So first we'll deploy Myrtle for some extra damage. Your feeder needs some really good RNG here or it will die. Okay. Silver Edge is actually key here, because we deploy him as fast as possible for some extra damage. And hope feeder doesn't die. Okay, yeah. Should be good now. But what I was talking about is Manticore here will stun the big guy, and that means that Silver Edge can possibly, when the guy is stunned, deal some extra hits, so that's actually very beneficial. And as you can see, we cleared it. This is risk 18, and I'll show you the risk you could take for a higher risk. Let me see. Okay, what I did for risk 21 was this. So you want to avoid going all the way with that deck, because that's insane. Your siege won't hold out, and that's very bad for you. Also Demolition, these guys, they will do a lot of damage. But this should be easy to clear with this squad. You will need to time Manticore well, because my levels are, yeah, my units are a little bit under leveled. My neural is just E1 max, and so is my moose. Those will both benefit a lot from being E2. For example, neural will do a lot more healing, and moose will do a lot more damage as well, so you can kill the guys faster. Here. I also have Manticore at E1 max, so you can actually make her at E2 as well, and she'll have more. Let's see here. Yeah, this doesn't really matter for her, but it's a pretty good ability nonetheless, and she will do a lot more damage as well. Oh, and there's another benefit as well, that you can of course master her skills, but it's not really necessary for Manticore. I only recommend having Lapland E2, Saria E2, Angelina E2, especially because Angelina gives a lot of buffs. She's actually really good. She gives all your units more attack speed. She also restores HP to all of your units if her skill is not activated. That also includes this skill. So every 10 hits, I think. Yeah, it's offensive recovery. So every 10 hits, she will get the skill, and then your units won't recover any HP. But your units should survive, and it's a little bit of extra help. Well, I hope this video helped anyone, if possible. I know my accent is really bad, but I'm trying nonetheless to make some of these guides, and I actually like making videos now. It's a fun time. Yeah, it's fun to spend your time that way, especially during current times in Corona. It's not really fun to stay at home after all. So I hope I helped any of you, and good luck clearing risk 18 in the current contingency contract. Bye.